Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the Suffolk Non-League Show. I am James. He is Adam. It is Monday night, and once again, we are live across Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Probably not for the next 3 hours like last time. We might try and shorten it down a little bit tonight. But we are live once again. No Monday Night Blues on this show. It is the Suffolk Non-League Hour. Adam, it's been a very, very long week. How on earth are you doing, mate? You well?
Very good, yeah. It's been probably the craziest week I think we've had. Like most successful week.
Yeah.
Numbers, everything else, like strides forward for the channel. It has been a real good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything's a little bit upgraded, a little bit tweaked. I think we're good to go again.
What do you make of the new background? Snazzy.
I absolutely love it. The turnaround on this thing as well by Matchday Marketing. Sent them an idea, and then all of a sudden, within 2 days, everything was redone.
Yeah.
Like with videos and all sorts, so we were ready to launch. It's proper special.
Yeah, it looks really good. So massive shout out to obviously one of our sponsors of the show, Matchday Marketing. They're the ones who designed all of this. It looks absolutely incredible. But we've got quite a few things that we want to go through on tonight's show. We've got a lot to talk about. There's furlough none updates, SIL updates. We've seen the announcement by Suffolk FA. If you haven't, we'll talk about it in tonight's show. We've got the Super Six to talk about, loads of little mini bits of news, and we've got 4 people waiting in the green room, waiting to come on the show to talk about various different bits and pieces. So it's going to be action packed tonight. Really is. We've got loads of you piling into the show and leaving your welcome messages, and I'll go through those in a few moments. Actually, let's bring some of them up now. Why not? Ryan Johnson, evening, lads. Vinny's in the building. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Connor Ellis is here. Shem is in the building. Shem, massive shout out for what you did during the week, mate. Really appreciate all of the effort that you did, pushing the show. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Addy Ellis is in the building. Evening, mate. Dean Cooper, how you doing, my friend? You're well. Glenn, good evening, gents. Michael Crofer, evening, boys. You're going to want to stick around for the Super Six, Michael.
He really is.
That's all I'm going to say. You're going to want to stick around, mate. Matchday Marketing, pleasure, guys. Go and check them out on Twitter. Said it before. So they do absolutely unbelievable work. So make sure you do go and check those guys out. If you are a club that wanting a bit of a revamp and a spruce up of your social media, these are the guys to go and check out. Sean Tells, evening, gents, and Stuart Spreadbridge, evening all. Hope you are all doing amazingly well. We want you active in the chat as you always are. Leave your thoughts, comments, opinions on all of the topics that we go through tonight. Just let's get our housekeeping out of the way. We want to, first of all, Adam, let's just talk about the club partnership to begin with. Just a friendly reminder to everyone, what is the club partnership and how can people get involved?
Yeah, so a real good opportunity for us to link up with different clubs and get people on and really just work alongside you all. Get involved by DMing me and I'll get you added onto the list. I've got one to add on from last week, so I'm a little bit behind on my admin, must admit. But what it does, it just gives us an opportunity to have a real database of clubs that we can help promote and do a bit more with, and all it costs is a retweet each week, just to show the love for the show as well.
Yeah, definitely. So as Adam said, if you're a local club and want your name up on the screen here, if you want to be a partner of the program, just hit Adam up in his DMs and we'll make sure we get you added to the list. Now, one thing that I do really want to say a massive thank you for is that if we look at the contributors towards the channel, you will notice that the Ko-fi names are no longer on this list. We had a influx of people who kindly put their hands in their pockets and put money towards the show. So we've now had to make 2 separate graphics. We've got one for the Patreon members, which your names are up on the screen here. If you want to become a Patreon member, the details are on the screen right now. It's a monthly optional service that you can do. So it starts from £1 all the way up to whatever you want to put towards the channel. You can cancel at any time. If you want to put a regular amount towards the channel, like these guys have on the screen, go to patreon.com/DeeJam and put money towards the channel. But the one-off donations absolutely flew in. Unbelievable effort by so many people during the week. Adam, you were constantly messaging me. This blew up, didn't it, during the week? It was absolutely
it went
crazy.
absolutely mad, and I was absolutely in awe of like what was going on, to be honest. And
Yeah,
I was having a job keeping up, but it's meant that we've been able to like raise money to then go a bit further, and we've got some news later on with one of the things that it enabled us to do.
yeah, definitely.
Really, and hopefully, like we're sort of showing the sort of project that we really want to build
Yeah,
with that,
yeah,
and it's all thanks to everyone that's donating. It's giving us the ability to do more.
yeah. Everybody from, I believe, Dan Snell down are new Kofi donations, which is just absolutely really, really, really appreciate everyone who's put money towards the channel. Just to kind of give people a little bit of context about what kind of things this goes towards, we've been able to invest in this software for the entire year now, which has just been absolutely amazing. We've got a new editing software, which we've now got for all of the graphics we use for the show. New microphones. We've now got lighting. We have been able to put all of this money that we have that people are putting towards us back into the channel, so we really, really do appreciate what you guys have done. It just helps this show grow and just become a better overall production, so we really, really do appreciate everyone who has done it. Again, if you want to become one of these Ko-fi members, go over to the website that is on the screen at the moment. That would be massively, massively appreciated. So also, before we do quickly go on to some of we've got some smaller news stories to kind of go through before we get onto the big topics. Just a very quick word from our sponsors. A massive thank you to all of our sponsors for the Suffolk Non-League show: GBS, Starling and Lock, Matchday Marketing, and Your Shirts. GBS are a family-run construction company in Ipswich operating nationwide with over 30 years experience, offering fire protection, diamond drilling, commercial building, health and safety, and asbestos removal. Starling and Lock, self-employed electrician in the Stowmarket and Suffolk area since 1989, offering domestic work and certificates for people buying and selling houses. An NIC/EIC member. Matchday Marketing, sports marketing and branding company, helping enhance the image and profile of grassroots and non-league clubs at a very low cost, utilising over 20 plus years in the game. Your Shirts, eye-catching, professional-looking garments for your business, team, club or organisation, with a range of printing methods to cover all individual needs. Links for all of these companies will be in the description below. Go and check them out and tell them that DeeJam has sent you. So a massive thank you there to all of our sponsors. Really, really appreciate what those guys have done and been able to push the channel. We've got a few more of your hellos in the chat. Ryan Owens is in the building. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Jamie Sandlands is here as well. Got a few in-house competition between Michael and Connor for this week's Super Six. We'll see who come out on top later on in the show. Ben is in the building. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Alex, absolute legend, friend of the channel, is there as well. Hope you're doing well. Tony Stone, good evening, gents. Bill Case is here. Kevin Clark, evening, gents. I've just seen Follow the Trawler. We now have lighting. Welcome to the 21st century.
Colin, I'm going to send you a video of what I have got set up. Honestly, it's not just lighting.
Brilliant. Shem, Nigella Lawson has blocked me. Apparently she doesn't want to sponsor the show. That's brilliant. If anybody knows, Shem was trying to get as many different people to come on board as we possibly could. He was tagging all kinds of celebrities. I mean, why Nigella would ever want to donate, I don't know, but it's worth a shout. It's worth a go. Why not? Why not, indeed? And Paul Kitson, evening, lads. Hope you're doing well. Just one other reminder. If you're watching this on Twitter, give it a retweet so we can spread this around to as many people as possible. If you're on Facebook, share it around. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. What we'll really, really massively appreciate. And we had some, I can't remember what country somebody said they were from last time, with somebody really random that found the video because people started liking
someone in Russia, I think it was.
That's the one. Somebody from Russia. Absolutely mental.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get on with tonight's show then. Let's get the few bits of quick news out of the way to begin with. First of all, we want to just give a shout out to the Green Inn. I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but the Green Inn have now got a Facebook page which they have set up. So the amount of times I go to games and people talk about the Greenham being the go-to source of news for all of their local roundups and stuff like that. They're now trying to bring this back to the non-league scene by creating this Facebook group. If you want to go over and have a little bit of a look at what they're doing, everybody can kind of post into it with different articles, news, and stuff like that. So yeah, just go and check that out. It would, I said it's just another thing that's contributing towards a non-league scene. We have some very exciting news, Adam, in the fact that this. I don't know if everybody saw this online recently, but we have signed up with Codnam Athletic to be one of the sponsors for their shirt. Massively. It's just incredible news, and we're glad that we can put something towards a club in the non-league scene. Adam, do you want to talk a little bit about how this all kind of came about and what it really means to the show and to them?
So bigger picture, like, it's one of the things we wanted to do was be able to give back to clubs a bit and help with sponsorship. We all know sponsorship's been quite a difficult thing this year, so it's just starting to look at opportunities of ways where we can start to get our foot in the door and start to help out with those things. So I put a message out to the partner clubs as well, offering in future where we're going to be looking to do more of this. And it's all going to be where like finances allow and where we can do it, because we've still got to financially run it really responsibly to ensure that we can still deliver the content every single week. But where there's money left over, it's the ability to then reinvest it into clubs locally and really do the right thing. And it's sort of given us a bit of a good start. It's almost like a foot up onto the ladder for us, going a little bit further.
Definitely. But I have to admit, that logo on the back of the shirt
looks class, doesn't it?
When I first saw it, I did get a little bit emotional, because it's just nice to see that kind of thing. The work that we've been putting into this paying off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that was really, really nice. And yeah, really, really exciting news for us and for Codnam, and for hopefully some more partner clubs in the future as well. We do have one other bit of small news to go through with you, in the fact that Bourne Vale from the SIL, they did put out an announcement the other day about the manager, Peter Gorham's, deciding to step down. A lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people kind of knew and were talking about it in private, but this week it was announced that that he's decided to step down. They have made a very, very quick turnaround and decision to bring in their first team coach, Pans Senior, and goalkeeper coach Damien Parker will take the reins as joint manager, assisted by Ali Brett and Smurf. So they've already got some people in place to basically continue with the rest of the season, which is good. There's some sort of continuity there from that perspective, but didn't waste any time in sitting around and waiting for the football season to kickstart. Decisions already been made.
Yeah, it's got a good reaction as well on social media, I thought.
Yeah.
It seems to have gone down well. So, the main thing is that they can have a smooth transition now.
Definitely. So yeah, that was so we've got one more quick news item as well, just to go through before we get into the nitty gritty. I thought I could just give these guys a bit of a shout out. My Guards UK, a personalized shin pad company that have just recently launched. They announced themselves over on Twitter the other day, and I thought it might be just worth giving them a bit of a shout out. So they're over on Instagram. Go and check them out. My Guards UK. No sponsorship on this one. I just thought they just look quite smart. We'll hopefully be speaking to them in a bit more detail about that later on at another point. So, Adam, let's get into the main news. And this is where I want people to really get involved in the comment section, because this caused quite a big debate this afternoon. I had a lot of people reaching out to me in DMs about this announcement from Suffolk FA today. So let's bring their statement up on the screen here. Now, originally, this broke, as Russell Clayton says in the comment section here. So don't forget Suffolk News and Associated Papers, etc., with the very free press. First with non-league news. We won't forget you, mate. You tag me in everything you do. So the news broke earlier on that with The Suffolk FA Chief Executive Richard Neal acknowledged that Turner Hyundai's Suffolk Premier Cup and CNET Training Suffolk Senior Cups face the greatest pressures on league schedules being completed and expectations on the participating season. He said, however, essentially, flexibility will continue to be the motto of this most unstable of all seasons, whilst we may no longer have neat designated round dates for every cup competition this season, which is undoubtedly easier to plan and manage. If we flexibly and collaboratively tiptoe our way forward on all fronts, allowing leagues an extended period to get some matches under their belts, we can review a situation in March and February to give ourselves the best chance of completing this remaining competition. Adam, your first immediate thoughts on the decision that the cup competitions, which I mentioned there, the Premier Cup and the Senior Cup, are still going to be going ahead?
I genuinely am a bit surprised.
Yeah,
I thought that I thought the plug would get pulled on those, and maybe not the best. Like generally, like they're good competitions to have, like with the prospect of playing the finals in a prestigious location normally. But it does worry me the fixture pile up. We've lost a month now, and are we going to lose any more?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it does worry me very, very slightly. What's going to happen?
I mean, we've seen a lot of cup competitions being cancelled already, haven't we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The interleague cups have been cancelled. We're in this bit of we're in this interim period where people are saying that are we going to be postponing the season restart by another week to get people in shape and give guys a bit of a preseason or one preseason game to kickstart the season again on the 5th of December? Are we going to even be restarting on the 5th of December? All those kind of questions and uncertainty surrounding that. The fixtures, the season's already going to then be extended by a period of time, depending on what league you're in, to then cram in these cup competitions as well. It's the flexibility around it as well, which is the thing that really concerns me. Not concerns me, but raises a question mark in the fact that if potentially you're gonna have a 5th round tie being played one weekend, but you haven't been able to complete all of the other fixtures for a 3rd round tie, there's going to be some teams that are massively further ahead in the competition than others, because we're all trying to be a little bit flexible in terms of when we can actually play these games. Do you know what I mean? That's my big concern.
With COVID and how things have happened, I think we can also, on average, most clubs have now lost 5 game weeks.
Yeah.
You could say every club has probably effectively lost one, with some teams not losing any and others losing 2 or more. And people probably point out the Clacton incident where they lost about 3 weeks, if not more, of not being able to play games. So it just seems odd that they're going to put the pressure on there of the cup competition. But I have always said I think the sponsors will have had something to do with it. And you can't speculate too much because you don't know what that discussion was. But that's quite a big company that sponsors that competition. I don't think it was financially. I should imagine they're quite invested in it.
Yeah.
To be honest,
but surely, when we're at a point where we don't know whether or not we're even going to be able to complete a season, don't you think it's a bit of a silly decision to be able to continue with those cup competitions, considering how many cups have already been postponed? Do you know what I mean?
Well, my main worry is for it's all right us saying we've extended the season, we should be fine, play midweek, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Last season, when everything was fine, a lot of pitches could not handle the weather.
Yeah.
That's going to be even worse because there's going to be a lot more. I think we've lost 4 weeks and added 2.5 if you go by date range to get things in. You then only got to get a couple of wet Saturdays. We actually, I think, already lost a weekend to the weather earlier on in the season. Do you know? It's not going to take much before we start thinking about furlough none teams playing Tuesday, Saturday virtually every week, and then having to have the pitch good enough to cope with it. And the SIL teams that are a little bit more limited in when they can play because of not having floodlights and stuff, I fear for them being able to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a fair comment. Let's get some of your thoughts up on the screen here about the announcement. So Stephen has said, as long as the cups are played in midweek, no problem. We need to protect Saturdays. What do you reckon to that?
Those cups are traditionally played midweek anyway, so I think we'll be fine on that. Saturdays, you can't have weeks anymore where you're not playing.
Yeah.
Like you look back to last season, you'd have a free week, get a couple of them a season.
Yeah.
3 game week. Yeah. Those are going to be a thing of the past now for a good while, and some teams will probably like that. Again, I don't know if pitchers will.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult because, like, when you look at how much investment it takes to keep a pitch at a good level,
yeah,
especially with times that have gone by, I don't know if people have got the money to invest in making that happen. We're still going to be asking a lot. And do you know what? You can view it as quite a lot of fuss about nothing, because ultimately there's only going to be 2 teams that play another 3 or 4 matches through it, and then that cascades down to a much lower degree. And some teams are already knocked out of those competitions. Don't forget.
Yeah, true.
So,
very true.
Like, we have got to take quite a measured approach to it, in terms of what it is, and I'm pretty confident that if it all starts getting a bit much and the weather gets bad, they'll pull it.
Yeah, you would like to think so, but like you said, does the other side of it is the fact that there are big name sponsors behind it? Is that the ultimate driving factor?
You'd always like to think not in the current circumstances. You really would. You'd like to think they're thinking of, like, the best for the players, the clubs, and everything else. Like, this is not a competition which wins you a load of money.
Yeah,
but it clearly earns the FA money. And if you're not going to play it, I should imagine contractually, Turner's Hyundai and the shipping company, who I can never remember, who are behind the other one, I think legally they'd be obliged to be able to ask for their money back, and I don't expect the FA can afford that either at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
The money's probably already spent, in fairness.
A few more comments. Dan Snell has said a lot of clubs have lost 2 or 3 fixtures before lockdown and haven't even entered the Vars yet, which is an interesting point. He also makes a point about the SIL, saying it makes it even more bizarre that there are 17 clubs in the SIL senior, so 1 club is without a game every week. Yeah, that's obviously because we had a team drop out this year, so that's the reason why on that part. Stuart thinks it actually is a sensible. It thinks it's sensible from the Suffolk FA. To be fair, these are prestigious competitions that should be given the chance to be played. You can lose a month due to harsh, cold, or very wet winter.
I think my thought train, James, is that you can lose a month, and we might lose that month still.
Yeah,
that's where I am with it.
Yeah,
like if we do suddenly have a bad winter, we're probably in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah. Cloudy Corners put on here saying pitchers have been rested for 4 weeks. Would that not make a difference?
I think you're probably going to need one of the scientists on, one of the people that actually understand grass properly.
Parker's pitches.
But yeah, basically need Will on here to actually know about. But I know they're out there doing work on them at the minute.
Yeah, they are.
Like draining them and everything. It will make a difference to some extent, I think. But still, you know what it's like. It only takes a whole load of rain and everything becomes a bog anyway. We're not talking about basically undersoil heating and lamps that get rolled on to make sure the fertilization is perfect. Do you know what I mean? It's
we are where we are. Yeah,
we're playing on parts.
So Kevin has said on here, league has already been circulated a questionnaire to extend the season, play midweek and Easter, and he's saying that's to do with the SIO as well. Stephen said the Senior Cup is scheduled to be played on Saturdays. They're making teams now play midweek. It's a good decision.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
I didn't realise it was scheduled to be played on Saturdays, to be honest. That one's got me. I 100% think Saturdays need to be left alone. If it's a cup competition, it goes midweek.
Yeah. Vinny, I'm not we'll try and figure out what is going on with the microphones in a few moments for you, mate. We'll have a bit of a it might be my settings or it might be yours.
Hang on a minute. Let's just do it on air. James, what's your do you know what percentage you'll put to on your mic volume on the software?
I don't know. No idea, mate. We'll figure this out at some point when we're having a chat with somebody.
Just tell us if it still sounds terrible. I've just adjusted mine.
There you go.
I've got a new microphone, so but unless people tell us, we haven't got any way of actually monitoring it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So Sean has put on here, hopefully games are weekends and midweeks. More games to go and watch. I suppose from a neutral perspective, it's great, isn't it, really? The more games you can go and watch, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, I always love a weekday game.
Yeah, definitely. So we move on from the Suffolk FA announcement to the furlough none. So let's talk about what's going on with the furlough none and the statements that they have been putting out recently. So we've got on here that this was the first statement that came out from them. So they're saying that following the current suspension of football, the furlough none fixtures will now carry on until the 15th of May. Currently, last fixtures are due to be scheduled for the 24th of April. Clubs have been given the option of starting league games again on the 5th of December or to use the first week for a friendly and or training, which is very interesting considering we're talking about fixture congestion. I suppose really they had to give everyone a kind of option of what to do. But really, I think for me, you should just get going right from the get-go, but we'll talk about that in a second. Revised fixture list for the Premier Division is now available on the full-time website. Fixtures start on Saturday, 5th of December, on the assumption that regulations will be permitted for certain games to be played on that day. Revised schedule for the other divisions will be released in due course, and then we saw a little while later the schedule for the First Division North is now available on the full-time website. Again, fixtures start on the 5th of December on the assumption that regulations will permit games to be played on that date. Some teams have opted not to play a league match on that particular date. So where do you sit, Adam, on the choice of being able to decide whether or not you start on the 5th or whether or not you want to have a bit of a week off or decide to play a bit of a preseason friendly? Because there's not going to be a guarantee that you can even get a friendly if you want to be able to play a friendly rather than training.
I find it very, very odd that it's been given as a choice and not just take a vote. We either all start on the 5th or we all start on the 12th. It seems quite peculiar, to be honest. Almost to a point where if I was making a call, like set it up so everyone can train together once and then you play.
Yeah.
Like being able to sort of say, oh no, we don't fancy it this week. You're going to get people out there that are a bit fickle with who they're going to be playing and the mood that they want to like generate within the camp, and they're still going to be thinking about how they finished off before lockdown. Like I am not a big fan of that approach whatsoever, and I'd go as far as saying that teams that have opted not to play may look back and see it as a bit of an error if they do lose a couple of games. Well, you've got to remember, you come out of this, you're still going to get COVID call-offs.
Yeah, very true.
Just play a game if you can. That really would be my plea. If you can play a game, get one done.
Yeah. That's
no one wants to see it coming down to points per game or whatever. You want to play it properly.
Yeah, it's a very it's interesting to get our perspective of people who are there on the sidelines in terms of just what from a watching perspective. But I think this is a good point now to introduce our newest member of the Suffolk Non-League Show, and I would love to get his thoughts on what is going on. So our furlough none representative for the show, Mr. James Bloomfield, is in the building. James, how are you, my friend? You well?
Well, it was as I can be, I think, in these times. We're all missing football, but looking after myself and staying well.
Good man. Good man. What do you make of? First of all, the statement came out, and we, obviously you guys will have been well aware of this before we were in terms of the options that were available. From your perspective, how do you kind of feel about the option of even the fact that there was an option to be able to say, do you want to play on the 5th or do you want to have that 5th to train or maybe pre-season and then start on the 12th? Where do you kind of sit on the whole issue?
Personally, I think there's got to be somebody at the FA. Well, there will be people in the FA. I know employees at the FA currently now who will have a good understanding and probably, given their advice, would have swayed it not to be an option because I can't see what difference it makes. A friendly is fairly unrealistic in terms of actually getting yourself going. You all know it's a friendly. You all approach it. Try not to approach it like a friendly, but you do. You know what I mean? You know it in the back of your mind it's a friendly. I can't see the difference it makes. Perhaps come back that little fraction sharper because you've had a bit of football, but it's not going to help it. In 1 week, they're not going to be fitter in a week. That's pretty much a fact. Not noticeably. So I just think let's crack on with it. I know that's our view. I know lots and lots of people will be. As soon as we can get back into football, let's train, let's play. I hate friendlies even in pre-season, so sticking one in the middle of the season, definitely, I'm not in favour of that. So.
Because there's no guarantee you're even going to get a friendly. I mean, what teams realistically are going to want? I suppose. I mean, again, what team is realistically going to go out and openly say, "Yeah, we haven't opted to play a game now, but we're going to advertise on social media."
I've seen a few have done that.
For a friendly.
A few have done that already. I've seen it on there. I've seen teams already announce the friendlies they're playing in. Wow. I think it's Harwich and Parkson are playing Devon, from the obviously Thurlow 19. Right. And again, it's no criticism. I'd be interested to know why they do that. If you didn't have a fixture, if it turned out that everyone else had a league game and we didn't have one, definitely we'd love to play a friendly because of course we want to be playing football, but if you got the option of a league game, can we please just get on with it, especially in the current situation? I think it anyway. COVID, no COVID. Can we have the football season back, please? If we can, let's do it. And especially with how things are, like you mentioned one thing there I wanted to comment on while you were chatting, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get some comments up on the screen before Adam, I'll let you jump in on there. Yeah. Your boss Shane's in the building. I found it strange too, but having played so little games with the season, we decided to play, which I suppose comes down to what you said a few moments ago. Dan Snell has said, agree with Adam. All clubs should be starting on the 5th if the government allow. Also, should clubs have been made to play on Boxing Day this year? Only 4 games across all of the furlough, none on Boxing Day.
It's given us an option, wasn't it, this year?
Is that the case, James?
Yeah, it's an option. It's a pre-season choice. You choose very early on. Do you want to play on that day? I believe there's 2. I think there's a New Year's Day and a Boxing Day, but definitely Boxing Day is an option. And we are, if you want to take a dig at us now, I think we're in a club that chose not to because we want to enjoy Christmas that little bit more.
I don't think the football at this level is so serious that we should be playing on Boxing Day and New Year's Day. I honestly don't. I know we all enjoy it and stuff, and it's a fun day out on Boxing Day. But think of the people playing, for goodness sake. Like, not for me.
No, fair enough.
It's not the Premier League.
I'd have probably gone the opposite way. For this
I did expect when they did the revised fixtures, they may throw it in there without being an option. I did think they might have done that, but thanks to
Merry Christmas.
Not to. Yeah, Happy Christmas is a fixture. You've got cutting Pakefield away. Cheers.
But due to lockdown, you can't see your family. Just imagine.
Yeah.
Dan's followed up saying, wait until someone catches COVID playing a friendly and the club can't play for the following 2 weeks. It's a very good point. A very, very valid point. It could well happen. Stephen has said the truth is that some teams just simply don't want to complete the season.
That's genuinely what I was trying to get at. I think there are teams that will put things off, and I think I mentioned a couple of weeks back that people will already be looking at the league and wondering how they would vote if they had to.
Yeah,
and they'd vote null and void. There are teams that I can tell you now they would vote null and void because it just hasn't gone right for them. And that isn't anything against the club, but because there haven't been enough fixtures to even determine how good you actually are. But
yeah,
I would say,
there are clubs in
I
the
would,
SIL that are 5 or 6 games in and haven't got a point yet.
go on,
I
James.
I would say on that. I think. What was you then saying? What was your opinion? I don't want to disagree with you.
Me?
Yeah, no, the null and void thing. I don't actually think there's going to be an option. With last season, they were supposed to do a restructure of the leagues. For example, I know they opted to move, so there's lots of different things. They were going to do a restructure all the way through, and they decided not to do it because they null and voided it. So they can promote and relegate. I think this season they will. I could be wrong, but I think it will be a points per game, or you reach a certain point, and we're gonna stick with it. I definitely think there will be a final outcome of this season. Definitely.
Sherman's put on here, Boxing Day is great if you're at home.
Yeah.
Which is a very, very good point. Although Dan Snell said can't beat a double on Boxing Day and Monday the 28th on his Shem. Dean Cooper has said, I don't see how you can say all games should be played when you can, and then say Boxing Day and New Year's is not for you, Adam. That's the issue. Too many teams are given options or choices. Just make them play. This is exactly what I was kind of getting at. If you want if we want the season to be completed, you shouldn't be giving people a choice. There should have been none of this. For me, there should have been, right, you're starting on the 5th of December. This is your fixture. If you can't complete it for COVID reasons, that's completely different. But you are starting on the 5th of December if we are allowed.
I think I'd probably come at an angle of like family time and everything else. And I think
family time. We've had 6 months off, Adam, with family time. We've just had
Christmas is different, though, isn't it?
Football and family time. Get the football back on.
Not on Christmas Eve. Not on Christmas Eve. Not on Boxing Day. Not for me.
Shocking. Look, I love my family to bits, but
that's only because she's listening upstairs.
When I used to go to watch Norwich, if there was a game on Boxing Day, I'm there. That was the tradition. Do you know what I mean?
It's different. I think it's different. I think same for me. I'm there. Footballers are paid an awful lot of money to go and do that on Boxing Day, and a ridiculous figure that we would dream of. And as a family, like families like yourself, we can go enjoy. Do you know what I mean? Have a drink, go on the train, come back, and it's a day out. Our SIL crowds are probably not going to pay the footballers enough to warrant the same.
Bender says summertime is family time, and we've got Shemi saying I believe SIL games are on the 28th as well, which is interesting. Yeah, again, Tony's just backed that up, saying SIL have fixtures on the 28th. Adam, what are your thoughts around that?
Great work. Carry on. 28th, right? That's 28th non-day, isn't it? That's in that void of nothingness. To be honest, between the 27th and the 30th, play every day. Because those days mean nothing to anyone. They just get lost. Just have a game a day.
Brilliant. And we got Stephen Boyle in saying, get the games in whenever you can. Tuesday, Saturday.
You wait, by the end of the season, you'll be playing Tuesday, Saturday, Thursdays, all sorts.
Oh, gee, I can't remember who it was. There's a team a couple of seasons ago, really high up in the pyramids.
Leicester had to do it.
There might have been Leicester. And I swear it was another team from somewhere else. I remember the BBC wrote an article about it saying they had to play a stupid amount of games every single week. But yeah. So I want to get another opinion on this. And there's somebody waiting in the chat who I'm really keen to get on here. It is the Ipswich Wanderers manager, Bucks. He is in the building. Sir, how you doing? You well?
Hello, guys. How are you? All right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not too bad. Where do you stand on this in terms of, I suppose, really the main talking point, the 5th of December, 12th of December, the starting point. Where do you stand as an individual, and what kind of stance has the club made for getting the season back up and running?
I stand with just get the games going. Personally, we as a club just said we want to just get the season going again. It's only a 4-week break. Do players lose much fitness over 4 weeks? No. injuries, people get recovered quicker. And we just wanted to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you are one of the teams that you haven't got a league game.
No.
But you have got a cup game to kind of kick things off. What, from your perspective, league-wise, I suppose if you've got a cup, you've opted to play and get things going again.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to play Norwich CBS, and for one reason or another, they want to have a friendly, get some more training in, which is their choice. So we're playing our first round game against Bourne Vale in the Senior Cup, which should have been played a few weeks ago. We did offer them. I know you was talking about the Senior Cup. Yeah, the Senior Cup games have to be played on a Saturday because SIL clubs don't have floodlights.
Yeah.
So, unless they draw an away tie against someone like us or someone like Cornard, for instance, or something like that, we can try and change it to a midweek. But we did try and change the game to our place for a midweek game, but Bourne Vale, rightfully, they want to play home. They want to play in their home turf. So fair enough to them.
Yeah, definitely. Go on, Adam. You look like you're poised with a question.
Yeah, there's got to be an expectation, surely, certainly step 6 and above, that players are actually out doing the fitness work and keeping themselves in shape. Like, that's the one thing that baffles me about clubs then saying they want another week.
We're quite, we've got a good bunch of players at Wanderers, and they've set their own goals and their own targets over this period. To be fair to them, we haven't had to put a plan in place. They're men at the end of the day. They should know that a season they need to be fit. Even with this break, if you was injured, you'd be trying your hardest to get back anyway.
Yeah.
So
very good point.
They're out there. They're doing 5Ks. They're doing their own fitness work. They post it in the WhatsApp group. There's fines if you don't do it. All sorts going on in the WhatsApp group. It's a bit crazy at the minute. So
brilliant. Absolutely love that. Let's talk briefly about your kind of start to the season then, whilst we've got you on. This couldn't have come at a worse time, really, could it? For you guys, the break, you're on an absolute roll.
In the league, obviously we lost to James's boys in the first game of the season. A bit of a tight game, really. It's just our biggest thing is when another team goes down to 10 men. For some reason, we just can't cope with it. And it is what it is, but it's something we're gonna have to work on in the training ground, I think. But we've started really well in the league. I've read on here a few times the game against Fakenham away sticks in my mind massively, and people, a lot of people said to us, it's 2 points dropped. Well, it weren't. We were facing in the first half 50-mile-an-hour winds, and we were only 1 down at half time. And then second half, I read a comment last week saying that Fakenham were a class above us, but second half their keeper pulled off about 10 good saves. So it was a game of two halves really, and I think a draw was a fair result at the end of the day. But other than that, I think we started well. You was at the Debenham game as well. Started really well that game.
You did.
And I think the play, I know Debenham changed their shape a little bit, done a few things, but the players, when you get into a certain position, sometimes players drop their game a little bit. They find it a bit easy. We done it against Wisbeach. After the first 5 minutes, you could automatically just say we were going to win this game, but we dropped down to their level.
Right.
And
that was one of the talking points on this show, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah, it was.
With the scoreline, because I think it's safe to say with the top teams doing as well as they are in this division, I think goal difference is going to play a massive factor.
Oh, massively.
Towards the end of the season. So for you as a manager, you've obviously won the game, you've scored 4 goals, but are you disappointed with that?
Massively, yeah.
And I mean that in the most respectful way possible to the opposition. Do you know what I mean? But it's an opportunity.
I think if you get one of the players on here and ask them what the conversation was after the game, I don't think it would. You know, it weren't very nice.
It's after 9 o'clock, mate. You can say what you want.
Yeah, yeah. It weren't a good conversation after the game. Even though we'd won, we were disappointed. It weren't. If we'd have won 1-0, but shown a bit more enthusiasm for the game, whatever, we'd have been fine. It was just there was just a laziness. You know, everyone was lazy on the pitch. It was just a lazy game, and we just didn't do anything in the game. Really, just didn't do nothing.
Does that kind of show the standards that you've set this season, though?
Yeah,
in previous
it does.
seasons, that would have been a great result.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, Framlingham, the last game we played against Framlingham, we were after about 15 minutes, it was the best we've seen us play.
Yeah.
You know, we were just ruthless. You know, and it comes from, you know, we've made a couple of signings. We made one signing just before the Framlingham game in Mark Roper. Everyone knows Mark Roper is a quality defender and good on the ball. You know, and him and Reece Barber together, just luxury, really.
Definitely. Adam.
Yeah. In terms of the squad that you've built this year so far, you've had a good time in front of goal. Like, everyone will be wanting to talk about Matt Blake. So I know I've spoken to you about it in DMs as well. But can you talk to us a bit about what brought him over and how you're finding managing him and how that's all going?
He's a brilliant guy. There's, you know, he listens, he learns, he helps other players. It all came about when we saw that he left Stowmarket and all the stuff going on Twitter, and we just said to the chairman, you know, how much do you want a goal scorer? And that was it, really. You know, how much do you want a goal scorer? Because at the end of the day, the guy's going to bag you 30, 40 goals, maybe more. You know, so I'm lucky enough. I'm good friends with Joe Francis. So I said to Joe, I said, you know, send him a message, and like he got back to us, and we met up with him twice at the club. Not once did we speak about any sort of money because it weren't nothing to do with me, or we just wanted to sell him the club, really, and to tell him what we wanted to do. You know, the aims for the club is to go up through this league, and then they want to go up into the Ryman League. The chairman, they've got very good ambitions. They want to push the club. You know, it's a long way away from where me and Goldie were 4 years ago. Put it that way.
Yeah,
a long way away, you know. But Matt is an unbelievable professional. He just wants to enjoy his football. He wants to score goals. We beat Framlingham 5-0. He didn't score. He came off disappointed.
Yeah.
So and he loves it, and he loves a goal gif as well. So that got a few talking points, didn't it? That was brilliant.
I was going to say, I mean, the publicity that's given to the club, I've seen that pasted in all sorts of chat threads on Twitter. It's gone in like all these different betting ones where like they post all the different gifts and that people do. It seems to have got people talking about the club and stuff. And obviously, the thing to remember is it's not all about one person. There's a lot of other people behind that.
Of course.
One of the things that like I've also noticed is like there's still players left over from last season. It's like a really good integration, and you are sort of building going forward. How do you feel that the squad that you have built over the last couple of seasons is sort of competing within what is a very tight top of the table? There seems to be a lot of competition around you that's performing equally.
Yeah, they've all done good business. You know, Mo Barton, you went to watch Mo Barton the other day, and they've been strong for a couple of seasons. You know,
very good.
They're very big and powerful. They're a very strong physical side. And if you don't compete with them, you're going to get rolled over. You know, Ben Thompson up front has been doing it for years, scoring goals for years.
He was a joke that day. He really,
he's brilliant. You know, him and Blake used to play with each other at Norwich United together. You know, they're both quality players, and they've got some really good players behind them. Big, strong defenders. we were quite lucky. We played them first game of the season, beat them 2-1 at home. It was a very even game. If we'd have come away with a draw, we couldn't have moaned. But Blakey was on the bench and then came on with 10 minutes to go and scored. But yeah, the Marchers are always going to be strong. Fakenham's obviously strong. Lakenheath will always, they're a good side. You always have good battles against them. You just have to beat. We just got to focus on ourselves. Just keep winning every game we're involved in. Focus on everything we're doing. We don't need to worry about anyone else. Just focus on ourselves. Every game we go into is a must-win game.
Yeah,
best team in Suffolk according to Blakey and his t-shirts and everything else that he shows off. Yeah. Does that put a bit of pressure on the team?
No, I mean the t-shirt was brought for him by one of the other players because he kept doing it, and they just thought it'd be a joke. So one of the players got it printed. The goal gift was something that was actually thought of by the rest of the team.
Right.
Yeah, Blakey turned up with 3 bottles of champagne and a raw steak, and everyone else turned around and said, "Well, no, I think you should just do this." So asked the chairman, and chairman agreed to it. So yeah, that was how that ended up. But it is a good goal gift.
So good, yeah,
definitely. James, I just want to ask you very quickly. Obviously, you've played against these boys right at the very early point of the season. Just kind of give your thoughts about what you saw on the pitch without praising your rival too much.
No, I think in 100% honesty, it's a credit to what Bucks has done. Really, it's easy to look from the outside and say you've got Blakey coming and you've got Dev Cunningham and I know Bucks mentioned the sort of the spine of the squad, and someone put in the comments they're ridiculous players, but you can't just sign them players and it just work. It doesn't just work.
So true.
I probably don't really need to mention Wilson at the moment having a hard time, and they're probably going to turn a corner at some point. They've signed incredible players, and Henderson from Kings Lynn shouldn't be playing there, for example. It doesn't just work because you sign them players. So it's a credit to what Bucks has done, obviously pre-season, to bring the boys together. The coaching that's gone on behind the scenes and sort of building up to what they've got there now. So I know we were massively impressed. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy game, and it probably turned out to be actually one step harder than we even thought it was going to be. And going down to 10 men at that stage, I thought absolutely no chance in hell we can do anything in that game whatsoever. And if we don't lose by 2 or 3, then it's probably a miracle. So real tough test. They're not operating as a Division 1 side. They're operating as at least a third and non-prem side. And if they're in with us now, I know you've mentioned it on previous podcasts. You watch them play, they'd be absolutely fine. So only well done for me.
Definitely.
Cheers, mate.
Bucks, I just want to say, obviously, I know the obvious question to say would be, how much are you kind of looking forward to getting the season back up and running? But realistically, do you think that the kind of talks everyone is saying about the 5th of December, do you think that's a realistic date that people can return to football? Because I have to admit, I think it's gone pretty quiet in terms of any sort of update about what's going to be happening. I know we're all making these, everyone's putting things in place to start them, but do you think that's a realistic start point?
I don't know. It depends on Boris, doesn't it? I mean, he's all depends what he wants to do. Really, just I don't know.
We're all gonna die.
Exactly. I mean, he's quarantined again, isn't he? He's 14 days apparently. So
that's a good idea. Keep him out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, I hope it does. I don't want it to go on any longer. I'm with you, James, on the Boxing Day stuff. I used to love playing on Boxing Day. Love it. It was 11 o'clock kickoff. What more can you ask for? Wake up with the biggest hangover and play football at 11 o'clock, and then go and have another dinner somewhere or get drunk again. It was brilliant. I used to love it. It was one of the best things about Christmas. As before I had children, by the way, but but yeah,
definitely. I've just got one question from the from the chat. I just want to bring up on here, Bugs, before I let you go.
Yep.
We've just got Cloudy says, "Is Matt Blake a flat track bully? Surely he should be applying his trade at a higher level." How would you describe him for somebody who hasn't watched him?
How would I describe him? He's just he knows where the goal is. One of the nicest blokes you could meet. Great banter in the changing rooms. He's played at a high level. He now wants to enjoy his football. He doesn't take himself serious. He's got, players take the piss out of him, and he takes the piss back. Players that he's never met, in the past, the young lads that we've got. And he just, he'll sit in the changing room, he'll take stick from him, he'll ruin him back. He's just, we needed to bring some characters into the changing rooms, but you've got to bring the right balance into the chat. Like James said, you've got to have something that works. We brought two in Blakey and Dev, who are two unbelievable characters, who can liven up the changing room just with, a click of a finger. They're brilliant guys.
James knows all about Deb's exploits.
Yeah, no, but no, Dev, he's just he's one of them. Dev is just on a different planet to everyone else, and we're talking about Blakey can play higher. Of course he can. Dev can play higher, but we've got a team of players that can play higher. We've got Craig Brand in goal, who, he shouldn't be playing with us. He's brilliant.
He's great.
Amazing.
He's the best goalkeeper in that league by a mile. Reece Barber, for instance. Nathan Speed, Lewis Kincaid, the left back, unbelievable. Connor Field, they can all play a level or two higher, easy. But me and Goldie are just very lucky that we've got the respect of the players is one good thing. The fact that they want to play for us is another good thing. Do you know what I mean? And we're just gonna keep going. We just want to get them. We want to just build the club as high as possible and keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. One more question from the chat on here. Who's the joker in the pack?
And don't say Flurry. No, it's not Flurry. It's easy for me to say Dev. It's easy for me to say Dev, but before Dev, trying to think who it was now. Joe Francis. Joe Francis last season was unbelievable. First thing he said to one of the players when he walked in the change rooms was, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm going to be the best player you ever play with." It's just things like that. Getting the chairman to hand him an envelope full of Monopoly money just so he can show it to all the players. Just things like that. He's a joker as well. Reece can be a bit of a joker. Craig Brand is another one. Not the sharpest tool in the box, Craig Brand, but he's good banter. So yeah.
Good stuff. Bucks, we really appreciate you coming on the show tonight and just chatting all things Furlough None and for Ipswich Wanderers. I think we're all in the same agreement. We just want the season to get started as soon as possible, and hopefully we can get down to watch you guys at some point later on in the season when it gets to crunch time and the games really start heating up. But good luck, and hopefully we can start the season ASAP.
Cheers, lads. Thank you.
Thanks, pleasure.
Cheers, thanks.
James, just very quickly before we kind of move on to other parts of the show, I just want to get your kind of thoughts on the season restarting and is the 5th of December, is that a realistic point? Can you see the season finishing with the deadlines and everything that's been put in place just before we kind of move on?
Yeah, I think it all obviously just comes down to, just like the statement the Furlough None put out, I think it just totally comes down to if we're out of this lockdown, as they're calling it, because they're all ready to go. They've revised our fixtures, so the Furlough None are clearly definitely going to do it. That the SAL, a lot of football is definitely, that's a fact, it's definitely going to start. But if they've just got to turn that key and say, out you go. So I think is it realistic? We don't know. I don't think Boris knows yet. He'll wake up and it depends what breakfast he has that morning as to whether he's going to flick the switch or not, I think. And hopefully he's feeling kind to Suffolk non-league football, non-league football as a whole, because we're missing it. And people talk about mental health. I know you have on the podcast before, and it's just a massive topic at the minute, and rightfully so. And it does have an impact. For some of us, very, very minor. I think some of us are so busy that the impact's quite small, and football's a side thing. For some of us, that was our get out, such. And you're heavily involved in it, and if you're sort of involved at the level that we are, it's a big loss to your life. It's like you've lost somebody, you lost something for a little while. So, my personal opinion is.
I feel like because football all started up and got moving, I feel like the second lockdown has been so much harder than the first.
Honestly, felt like it was never coming. Everything felt quite normal because we had to wear masks in supermarkets and everything. Wearing a mask around the football club didn't feel too abnormal, and checking in places. So you can't play football unless it's contact. So contact was there. Nothing was too different. So it never felt like this lockdown was coming. Even in the last game, it was like, I don't know, the Last Supper. It was like one last game, and now we're going into a random mid-season break, which would never happened probably. So, is it realistic? In answer to that question, I don't know. Do we think we'll finish the season? I definitely hope so. I definitely think there will be an end to the season. I think it will end even if it's finish the games next summer, whenever it is. I think we will either finish the games or points per game. I think they will definitely say we have to have an end to this one. In my heart, I'm quite sure that they have to do it at some point, and this restructure, they're screaming out to do it. So I think there will be a finish. However they do it, so whether they do points per game, I hated null and void. I'm desperate for them not to do that again. I just want us to play the games, even if they have to pause again. Just keep pausing it. We'll return to it. So that's my view.
Yeah. Good man, James. Really appreciate you coming on, mate. We'll have you continuously on throughout the rest of the season to talk all things furlough number. Really appreciate you coming on, my man.
No problem, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, James.
And for those of you who haven't seen from the full-time website, here are the confirmed fixtures that we have for the 5th of December. So hopefully all things, everything crossed, we can get these games up and running. We've got Clacton versus Wroxham, Galston versus Newmarket, Haverhill versus Stowmarket, Thetford versus Norwich, Whitton versus Mildenhall. And from the north, we've got Sudbury Reserves versus Downham Town, Cornard United versus Lakenheath, Mulbarton versus Leiston Reserves, Needham versus Fakenham, and Sheringham versus Wisbech St Mary. So those are the games, hopefully, as I said, if all things go well, that we can get some things up and running. So, Adam, shall we do, first of all, the Super 6 or Goal of the Month before we move on to the SIL?
Do Super 6 first, because it always lands at about 1 hour, and that's where we are. Yeah. So people can flick through.
Good call. Now, obviously, this is the point of the show where I'm going to hand over to you, Adam, and let's bring up, first of all, the competition that we've got going to win a copy of this year's Football Manager. Before I bring up the graphic up on the screen here, because I know people are going to be, this is where things really start going on in the chat. Some big moves you said to me in private. You didn't tell me what had happened, but you just
didn't send you a picture or anything, did I?
No. You didn't give anything away. What kind of fixtures did well for people? Can you remember?
Pretty much 50%, if not more, got the Colchester score right.
Really?
On the nose.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Nobody got Southend to even win.
I didn't think they would do, to be honest.
No.
That result kind of came out of nowhere.
Out of 77 entrants, not a single person put Southend to win.
That's brilliant.
Now, there was one real big issue this week, and it is quite funny. I'm just consulting with my spreadsheet just to make sure I've got my numbers right. So
I love the
Dean.
details go into. It's amazing.
Dean Cooper entered twice by accident.
By accident.
So I have to take the first answer. It's what I've done with everyone that's answered twice. On his first entry, he got 0 points. On his re-entry, he got 9, which was more than anyone else.
Dean's going to be gutted.
And I couldn't take it.
That's harsh, Adam. That's harsh. That's unbelievably harsh.
Yeah. So that is like the biggest cock up we've seen so far.
100%. Right, let's get the graphic up on the screen. So this is the updated version. This is all of this weekend's results in the mix. As I said, for your chance to win a copy of Football Manager. There are still a couple of weekends to go in November. So who knows? If you have 2 superb weeks, you could still be in with a chance if you haven't entered so far. This is the updated graphic. So at the top, we have Spreads with 12 points. Wow. And Nick very close behind him with 11.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
There were many people that got 7 this week, and the table looks quite healthy despite the majority of us still having no points carrying over. So Spreads is like, he got the best score by a mile last week and got a 6 this week. So he's had I think, he might have got 7 this week. Yeah, because he got 5 last week, I think. So yeah, he's got 7 this week. Nick Pope again, he got 7. So the distance at the top is easily swung. Like you can see in a week how much of a difference that's made. Michael Crofer will be in the chat imminently if he hasn't gone to bed, because he's been getting ribs saying on social media, people are saying he's got 0 points, 0 points. He joint top scorer at 7. Deck Chair Pete, that's been mentioned in the chat, another 7 points for him. Like, so this competition is going to really heat up.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Alex, I'm going to bring you in to talk about some of these scores, my man. Me and you neck and neck on 5 points from it.
Yeah, that's looking good, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I love how the fact that I'm level on 5 points with a lot of people, and somehow Adam still manages to put me in the second column. He refuses to put me anywhere near the top of that table.
No, it's auto sorted on the Excel sheet I've got. So if anyone's got a problem with that, Lau Moss, 34 and 54, the same person. Oh, don't start this with me.
Are they? That's it. Okay, there's 2 completely different names.
34 and 53. Yeah, that needs to drop out. That is a mistake.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well spotted, everyone. Well spotted. Tony Stone, stop the count.
Red Sharon, stop the count.
Absolutely love that. Michael Crofer, he is here. He's happy. He's very, very happy. 7 points.
So he should be.
He did really
so it should be. Like, good performance from him.
See, I was late again, so I don't know if I probably kind of rushed mine.
Oh, well, don't get the excuses in, Alex.
I did mine very late as well, to be honest, because Adam sent it into our group chat and reminding us that we hadn't entered. I swear I enter these things on a Monday night. It comes around to Saturday morning, and Adam goes, "You haven't entered." It happens every single week, and I'm like I said, I think there's a conspiracy still going on from the first week. I'm still not happy. Not that I'm bitter about it.
Yeah, did do my second scores. My first one was 9 points, not 4. No, I didn't do your second scores, mate, because you can only enter once. Sorry, Dan. Same thing as what happened with Dean. He entered twice. Only his first one counts. Otherwise, the admin on me trying to do Daniel Barnard 1, Daniel Barnard 2, etc. I'm not doing it. Like, this takes me forever to sort this out.
It does take a long time.
Just like knocking 3 hours. This took me last night to sort all of it out and split it out. So it is 1 entry each.
Yeah.
But seriously, like some of the performances this week, this was our highest average so far. Like really impressive this week.
Yeah. So again, if you guys want your chance to go into this and with a chance to win a copy of this year's Football Manager, which has kindly been sponsored by Atlas K9 Security, then every single week we'll be posting this out throughout social media. So yeah, if you guys want to get involved with that, there will be a link for this week's one in just a few moments. Let's bring that graphic up actually, and then we'll bring the overall. Do you know what? I'm going to bring the overall total. So here is the overall position before we go on to next week's Super Six. So Spreads and Tommy Smith now sharing top spot.
Yes, in the top 10.
45 points. I haven't even looked at where I am.
Alex, you're going to be really disappointed this week, James.
I'm always
creeping in.
It comes back to that first week. I'm telling you, it comes back to that first week every single time. But yeah, I still have yet to break into the top 20. Really disappointed. And oh, look at that. Adam's in 13th. What a coincidence.
Look who's 10th.
No way.
Yeah, Alex is
unbelievable.
Got the edge. Alex got more points than I did this week by 1, and we were already just about level pegging. Spreads and Tommy Smith are now battling it out.
I still reckon I'll probably start falling away
up the top there. So like, there's the people though that enter every single week are now starting to stabilize a bit up there. Like, it is starting to make a difference. Those sort of missed couple of points one week, but Tommy Smith, like, honestly, week in week out, he's hitting the average, and then he's just getting the odd good one. But Spreads is now, taking the lead right up there, and poor Watty has dropped away.
That comment from Stuart is absolutely brilliant on there. James, if I'm above you, I'm having your Football Manager. You're not. I'm already. How many hours have I played of this year's Football Manager? I think I've played maybe 6 hours of this year's Football Manager. Not as many as I normally do, if I'm being honest.
I thought I was going to get in for so much banter with this lot when I won that copy the other day. Like, with people saying, "Oh, you're going to give away a code that you won." Like, I've redeemed my code that I won.
Yeah, we'd already sorted this.
Yeah, so I thought I was going to get a lot of stick.
So there is the current table. As I said, we'll be posting this out on social media if you want to have a little bit of a look into it in depth later on. Here are this week's Super Six. And again, I'm just going to be posting the link for this if you want to enter. These are the fixtures. So we've got Middlesbrough versus Norwich, Ipswich versus Shrewsbury, Southend versus Cambridge, Mansfield versus Colchester, Kings Lynn versus Dover, and Chelmsford versus Chippenham Town. So 5 relatively local teams. Obviously, we're in a bit of a difficult situation where we haven't got any non-league football to speak that we can put in here. So we're having to make do and keep the Super Six alive. But Adam, surely that's a home banker for Ipswich this weekend. Surely.
Well, you'd like to think so, but I'm very negative about Ipswich at the moment, if I'm honest.
I'm sorry, but Shrewsbury are in the relegation zone. If you don't win this weekend, you don't deserve to do anything this season. As far as
100%. But like, the fan base has started throwing a bit of a wobbly again, and
I'm standard every year.
Do you know what I mean? Like, third in the table, and everyone wants Lambert out, and like, you go out of a cup competition, everyone wants Lambert out. Like, and at the moment, the whole thing around Ipswich just doesn't seem to feel good. I mean, what do you think of Norwich's chances against Middlesbrough, keeping it local?
I'd take a draw.
Yeah, that's what I'd.
To quote Mick McCarthy, I'd take a point.
That's what I'll be going with on the Super Six. Colchester game is Friday. Super Six. Oh my goodness me! What have you done to me, James?
What have I done? Get your entries in by Friday, everyone. Get your entries in by Friday evening.
There was a rule: Saturdays only.
Well, I'm sorry. Do you want to try and find another non-league game that's local to us? Because I guarantee you won't be able to find it.
No, that's fine. Thanks for letting me know, though, Dan. That's appreciated. Because otherwise, I've had a couple of cheaters before where we've like had a Tuesday night game and they've put in the score of the game that's gone rather than letting me know. So
as I said, there are the fixtures. If you want to get involved, link has been posted to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you want, as I said, to win a copy of this year's Football Manager, leave your predictions by Friday, 7 o'clock, and we will see who comes out on top this week. Be very interesting to see whether or not Spurs can keep up his performance at the top of the table. Right, let's move on, Adam, to SIL talk. We have got two guests in the chat who in the waiting room who are dying to come on and talk about all things SIL. So we had a couple of updates from the league come through this week, which I'll bring up on the screen here. So this is a couple of statements that those guys have put out from the SIL up on their website. It's the silhq.co.uk website. So first of all, it said, at present, I'm putting fixtures that were postponed in October and November back into the season schedule. Hopefully by the end of next week, I will be putting a complete list for the remainder of the season on the full-time website. In these difficult times, I need information from clubs as soon as possible on a few questions before I can complete my schedules. Apparently, there are 50 teams or 50 people who have not got back to the SIL about whether or not they can fulfill certain fixtures on here. So this is my plea to everyone. If you are one of these people who have not responded to any emails that have gone out to your club secretaries, please encourage them to forward it on to you and have a discussion amongst yourselves, because we want to get these fixtures back up and running as soon as possible. So please let the league know what game or what type of games you can and can't do. It's all available on their website. You all know who to contact on there. Just please make sure that you do it. So in these difficult times, you may find you have 2 or 3 home or away games in a row. That's because I'm slotting fixtures back that have been postponed from earlier on in the season, and I'm afraid it's unavoidable. We're trying to fit games in and have a full program each week. Some games in December have been altered, so please check on a regular basis on the full-time site. And then today, there was a further announcement, which was due to the fact that we were going to be talking about it this evening. So it said earlier in the season, it became apparent that with a late start, we needed to extend our season in late September. The league asked for and received notice that the season could be extended to Saturday, the 15th of May. It's a 2-week extension, and other leagues in the area soon followed our lead. At present, we as a league are looking to see whether or not we can add a further extension and whether or not it will be required. And we are in close contact with Suffolk FA as we look to restart on the 5th of December. As the Macron SIL fixture secretary, I'm being proactive and looking at this daily on our fixture demand so we can get the full season in after last season's null and void finish. Goes on to say about the circumstances that we're all kind of living in. A recent survey was sent out to clubs to see if they would consider playing Easter Monday as well, to gain another date to arrange games on and to see which evening suited clubs and with their requirements as well. So based on that, we're going to bring in our 2 guests to kind of talk things all through on that. So first of all, Alex, I'm going to bring you back into the chat, my man. And I'm delighted to say that from Benel, we have a representative for the club on here. It is Wilco. My man, you've been waiting so long. Thank you so much for being patient on there.
Thanks for waiting.
Gents. David, it's only because I couldn't touch the screen. No, I'm not with technology. I was scared to touch anything. It wouldn't come back on, mate. I'll tell you. I've been sitting there like that. Don't move. I had to get my boy to settle up for me. So that's how bad it's been tonight. And he's
Brilliant stuff. So obviously we've seen that statement, we've seen that update in terms of getting the season extended. I suppose really the question I'll throw it back to you, what we were talking about earlier about the cup competition still going ahead. How do you kind of feel about it from an individual perspective? Not asking you to answer on behalf of the club. So how do you personally feel? Do you think it's the right decision to have those cup games going ahead?
We're still in it, so I'd say yeah.
Brilliant.
In it to win it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Absolutely brilliant. Fair enough.
Obviously, they've obviously looked at looking at the fixtures and time-wise, and they feel it is maybe possible. But yeah, I mean, obviously we want to play as much football as we can. We've missed out on a lot, so the more we can, the better. But Adam, like you said, I mean, pitches wise, we all know about the old Bennell Bobble. Does take a little bit of a battering, especially through the winter. So whether we're about to cope with that, I'm not too sure. So, but yes, we like to play all the games, all the cup games, all the league games. So fingers crossed, we better get them in, and obviously pitches hold up.
Yeah. Where do you kind of stand on the whole point of starting up on the 5th of December or the 12th of December? I don't know what the SIL part of it was like. Maybe you two can maybe answer this. Were you guys given a choice like some of the other leagues were, or have you been kind of told you're going to be starting off on this point? Alex, you...
To be honest, obviously at my level managing, obviously the first team's priority, so that would be sorted out first before we kind of really find anything about it.
Right.
You know, it's so difficult, especially at SIL level, because we don't have the same facilities as Furlough None, and because a lot of clubs share with like cricket grounds and stuff like that, the extension can be quite difficult.
Yeah. Fair enough. What about you, Wilco? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'd like to get up and running on the 5th. We've got the added incentive about St Margaret's first game on the 5th, so that's always a nice one to start with. Yes, it is a hard one. I mean, to be honest, we actually booked in a friendly for the 5th just in case they have give us a week's grace. But I think, like James Attin from the Furlough Man said, I don't think a week's going to make any difference. To be honest, fitness-wise, I mean, best just get on with it. Let's get the games in. Obviously, try and fulfil all the fixtures and just crack on with it, I feel. So,
yeah.
What's the mood like among the boys? I mean, you're going well. Like, let's not avoid that. Before everything stopped, you're going really, really well. So how's the pause affected them? It's something that we didn't really speak about with Bucks. Like, has it affected them mentally at all in terms of their rhythm?
Obviously, it's going to affect them a little bit, but like Buck said, we've got a real good WhatsApp group, and our Riggsy's on their case all the time, getting them doing runs, and he's actually set up some chart things that they're doing. So they're actually out doing a little bit. I wouldn't say they all are, but like I say, the majority of them have. But like Buck said, at the end of the day, these boys have made their way into the first team now, and if they want to hold their positions, we've got to start the ground running. Basically, at the end of the day, so you basically start again. So if they don't get out there and do a little bit themselves now, they're the ones that are going to end up obviously trying to hold their place. Basically, so
you posting your own times in the WhatsApp group to compete with them, or
Adam, mate, I'll put a thumbs up every now and then, and that's 9 times out of 10. If I hit the wrong button, I tell you. Sometimes I'll put the thumbs up too, to be honest.
Tony's put on here saying that the league has certainly seemed to be doing all they can given the current situation to get the league completed. I mean, for you, obviously, I know as much as you want the cup competitions to kind of take place, I suppose the league is the biggest priority for everyone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. Everybody wants to fulfil your fixtures. I mean, like I say, you want to come away as league champions. You've played all the best teams in your division. And like I say, that's what you aim for. That's what you start the season for. Yes, it's always great to have a cup run, without a doubt. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, everyone wants to lift that trophy and saying that you're the best team in that division, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
It's what you work for. It's what you train for pre-season. You don't, as much as a good cup run, as I say, we've said before, can help. That's not what it is at the end of the season. At the end of the season is the season. It's not whether you win 3 or 4 games, because there's not many rounds in the cups that we play. Well, there isn't. Say reserve, or I don't know what it's like. Obviously, with Bennell, I don't know if it's usually about 3 or 4 games, I would say, in a cup.
Yeah, I think they're about 4 or 5. I think there's, like I say, but yeah, like you say that, Alex, your main priority, you start your pre-season with a set to have a whole season, fill all your fixtures, and be hopefully in the top 2, 3, 4. You know,
yeah.
so,
yeah.
Without that.
And I think that's probably the reason why a lot of managers, well, from what I've heard, have probably turned around and said, okay, if you cancel cup competitions, you cancel cup competitions. The league is what we're going for. It's what every club is trying to strive for. So,
yeah, let's talk about the league in a little bit of detail. Moving into the fact that hopefully, we can kickstart the season up and running as quickly as we possibly can. Here is the current league table at the moment, with you boys currently sitting in 5th place. Obviously, you're a couple of games behind some teams on there. Would you kind of go along with what I've been saying most of the season, that this is the most competitive it's been for a very, very long time? That to see there's a lot of teams in there, and you even go down as far as Crane and Henley, who have really kind of yet to get their season truly up and running, who are still well in that mix. It is very, very competitive this season.
100%. Well, like I say, they've only played 4 or 5 games, and boys, we know full well, you have like sort of 3-4 games on a trot run, things are going to change. Then top 4, 5, 6 up there, Claydon, Halsworth. I mean, obviously we've turned them over once this year, but real good, strong sides. Trimley, another good defensive side. You know what I mean? We haven't played Burgold yet. We've got Bilderston, Rance. So all the ones round about us, we've still got obviously played for the first time. So yeah, things could quite easily chop and change within like 2 or 3 games, definitely.
I think the other thing with Benno, I don't know if you'd agree with me, Benno was a very difficult place to go and play at either level, for first team or reserves, and you tend to have a very good home record. I don't know how many you've played. Is there only one game you've played at home?
I think we've had 2 this year.
Yeah, 2. Yeah. Does that kind of reflect really with the league as well, where you haven't had that many home games as well, and you've had some tough away ones? Definitely.
We are a side that capitalises on. We know how to play the pitch. There's no hiding about teams that don't like coming there. We're not the best ground. We know that. You know what I mean? We know that obviously we try to do the best we can with what we've got, funds wise and stuff. But then you adapt, and I mean, I've got some real quality players there that really want to play some decent football on a flat pitch, but you have to adapt, and they have as well. So it's not always about obviously teams coming. We have to play on it week in, week out, as we keep saying. And we adapt to it well. So it is a bit of home advantage for us without a doubt. And and like we like to say, we do capitalise on that. We do win probably 60-70% of our games at home most seasons. So
definitely. Adam, do you kind of look like you're ready with a question there?
Yeah, obviously, if results go right, sort of, if you even the table up, you could see yourself really up in the mix. Last week on our review show, we graded you an A in terms of the way your season's gone so far, and the fact that it really looks like you could push on. You're just hovering in that spot almost quietly, like the top 4 are there, but you're just hovering underneath with that game in hand. Halesworth for a team that you can't forget about, though, having only played 6 games themselves, but really been in the mix. Could you sort of pass any comment on them from what you know about and where you see some real key competition coming from? Obviously, Claydon are doing very well as well, but
like I say, like your Claydon, Halesworths, like I say, Henley, we had a cracking game with them. It turned us over, like I say, 4-3, which like I say is a little bit of a shame for us, but always going to be a tough game. And even Cranes, although they're sitting sort of down the bottom end, they're going to turn up. We know 100% they're going to give us a real tough game, which they do every single time we play them. Old Newton, there's so many teams in there now, so many teams that you can obviously say that you're not going to go there and you're going to roll them over. I'm not even looking at teams like St Margaret's and that. Always a tough battle, always work hard, capable. You know what I mean? So you're right what you're saying. You're not going to get any easy game this year at any club. 100%.
No way.
What do you kind of put that down to in terms of this season? Why do you think the strength of everyone in the league has suddenly gone up a level?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think there's a lot of players moved around, which is obviously strengthened some and weakened others. You know what I mean? So obviously we've pulled in a couple of decent players. I mean, I think that's it. I think and sometimes you just got to have that little bit of luck, that little bit of rubber to green, and it's early days. like I say, we've only played like 6, 7, 8 games, so there's still a lot of football to be played. And like I say, sort of getting the other side of Christmas, like end of January, you'll then start getting a feel of sort of the top half a dozen. We'll start settling down, I think, a little bit then.
Yeah, and I suppose. Sorry, go on, Alex. Go on, actually, already.
No, I was just going to say it must have been quite a bonus. Obviously, getting Kelsey back this season as well. I'm literally because I started looking at the fixtures and scorers and stuff like that, and I'm just waiting for him to kick on, and I think that's just going to be a massive boost for you guys. Once he starts putting the ball in the back of the net, you are going to be a very, very, very difficult side to come up against, home or away, to be honest, because he's a quality player.
Oh, 100%. Kelsey won't mind me saying he knows he's not fit enough at the moment. We're not fit enough. He's fit enough for us, but there's a lot more to come from him. Hell of a lot more. And he's honest about it. He knows, and he has a chat with me and Matt, and obviously we speak to him. And also, like I say, we've got a couple of other young lads that have come through. We've got Sammy Watling, who's come back from. He's been out for a year or two. Centre half, absolutely brilliant. He's probably been for me our star player. And the other one I've got to say is old Louis Johnson in goal. I mean, that lad is, I call him a fruitcake. He is absolutely as mad as an atom. He is definitely a goalkeeper, I can tell you. I mean, the things he comes out with, and I'll just sit there chuckling. I love him. I think he's absolutely brilliant. So, yeah. I think at the moment, if I'm really honest, I think we're about 80% where we should be at the moment. There is another good 20% that come out of the team all across the park. Like I say, there's some big players that haven't really kicked on, and like I say, when they do, I think, like I say, we'll be quite a force to reckon with some days, without a doubt.
Yeah. Did you set yourself any pre-season goals, or was it? It's a bit of an odd one to go into. So, was there anything set or not?
Obviously, it was a little bit of turmoil because obviously I was stepping down. Matty come in, and obviously they had a little shuffle around with managers in the reserve side. So me and Matty had a good chat, and obviously I decided to stay on with him. So we sort of set ourselves, say, we'll be looking at hopefully getting in the top 6. I mean, we sort of finished middle of the table this year. So, I mean, obviously looking at the start, we've probably had a chat and thought, well, hey, we probably could push a little bit higher than that. But at the moment, like I say, we just sort of take each game as it comes along, and obviously deal with it that day. And then hopefully come the end of the season, we'll be where we should be. So
I think I'll ask the kind of final question on this part. How optimistic are you of us being able to complete the season? I mean, we've had a lot of talk on here about cup competitions and whether or not they should be or shouldn't be played. Realistically, can the season be finished, do you think? Or do we literally just have to kind of take it game by game by game?
I think so. I'm a bit pessimistic here, but trouble is this isn't going to go away. Like Adam said, there's going to be call-offs through COVID and stuff like that. It just depends on how many. Obviously, the more there is, obviously, less time we're going to get fit the fixtures in. So I think you're just going to have to sort of suck it and see, really. Just keep playing. If it's a Saturday or Tuesday or Wednesday, you can get a game in, go and play it, go and get it done. I mean, I know all the players just want to play football, same as the managers. So if there's a date out there we can actually play and kick a ball about, go and do it.
Yeah, definitely. Wilco, I really, really appreciate you coming on the show, mate, and talking all things SIL. Good luck for the rest of the season. I hope it goes well, and hopefully, as I said to Bucks earlier on, we can get the season back up and running as quickly as we possibly can.
100%. Thank you, gents. I've enjoyed being on here, and
no worries.
I haven't disappeared. So.
Well, good. You've stayed in, mate. Thank you ever so much.
Cheers, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. See you later.
So, final part of the show, then, lads. Alex, I want you to kind of you've put together a goal of the month. Clips.
Yes.
So really appreciate everybody sending those those video clips and highlights into us. Just to kind of reach out to people, Alex, for future, once we were to kickstart the season, how can people sort of reach you? And what's the best way of contacting you?
Yeah, through Twitter. If you just DM me on there and let me know how you'd like to obviously send it through. And what we'll do is we're trying to, as much as we would like to put all of them on there. Obviously, we through time, which we'd love to extend and everything like that. We can only do, as I say, we're probably looking at about 8. So yeah, just go on Twitter. DM me on there and we'll get it sent through and then get it all edited and get it on for the show. I think we're looking to do it probably, the way we'll do it is once a month. And then we'll try and do it where it will be, hopefully we can do it at the beginning and then it'll run through till the end of the month and then we'll decide at the end of the month and do it that way.
How many goals have we got in this clip? Just for
we've got 8 in this clip.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not turning around and saying that I only want senior sides or anything like that. Any goals, just give me any goals.
Yeah.
Furlough or SIL.
Yeah, definitely. Let's play the clip. Boys, just a polite reminder that the microphones are on. Be careful what you say. So here we go. This is the goal of the month competition, or entries for this goal of the month. We've all seen this goal on social media. What a hit.
I know. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's been on everywhere as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just another replay of it. It's from so far out as well. Such a great hit.
It's just a vision to see that. That's ridiculous.
I think that's what it was very windy that day, and to keep it nice and straight.
We were at this game.
Saw James. Bang.
That's a good hit as well, isn't it? That's a really good hit.
That was incredible when that went in.
A lot of people would have tried to hit that first time. And then to take a couple of touches and generate that pace was absolute quality.
It's gone through the bodies as well instead of taking it the opposite side.
Alex,
your favourite team? Do you want to say the team who scored the goal?
Yeah, the Wasps. This is a very good team goal to build it up. There was a lot more to this video, but obviously, trying to get it all in is quite difficult. But I thought this was lovely. It was a nice team goal and a lovely finish as well.
Yeah,
you're not saving that.
No,
that's right in the top corner. You're not saving that. Ransom Sports now.
Yeah, this was actually against my side, but it's a very good finish. The vision on it as well, I think, to get himself in that position and then pick a spot as well. Very, very good goal. I think as well the pass as well to see that there was someone coming up.
Run onto it, hit it. Yeah.
Very, very good goal. I believe this is the one that we've had in the comment section there.
Another rocket at Woodbridge.
Yeah.
Same goal as well. That net must have holes in it. Either that or the keeper's hands have.
I think obviously we spoke about a lot of very instinctive goals as well. They're very, hit first time and stuff like that. Yeah, I love this. To get the control.
We were talking about this one beforehand, weren't we? Before we went live.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I don't get me wrong.
I don't know about this one.
It's a very
because the video's at an angle, you don't know whether that's swerved or not.
Yeah.
See, because it looks straight, you're thinking, all right, that's gone straight because it's gone down the middle. But if you actually look the way he hits it, he's actually hit it the instep.
Yeah.
Natty Stewart player doing very, very well at Norwich. Look at that.
Great finish.
Great finish.
Player.
Fair play. Bottom corner, like it. And this must be the final goal now coming up.
Yep.
Which was the game we were actually at.
Yeah, and I believe this one actually won Sporting's goal of the month that they put out as well.
Brilliant.
When Courtney came on, he was quality that day.
Yeah.
I know he was. I know he was spoken about quite highly, obviously, by the manager when he came on when we done our show last week, and how they were trying to get him over and stuff like that. And you can see that he's got the vision there. It just shows in that.
Definitely. So there are your goal scorers and the teams obviously they play for. Thank you very much to JR Buckle Plastering for sponsoring the goal of the month. And obviously we haven't got any, we won't have any entries for November, but once the football gets up and running, we want people in December, if the season does happen, to really, really kind of post in as many clips as you can for different goals. Because obviously this was all kind of put together without much kind of notice out on Blast, etc. But now is our opportunity to promote it out in December. If you are at a game and you've got a clip of a goal that you want to send in to us, as I said, hit Alex up on Twitter, and we'll make sure we can try and fit it into a goal of the month.
We're also as well trying to looking at local bands and artists as well, to put music over the top of the
good
video.
Good call.
Obviously, we want to use what we were talking about earlier, putting it back into the local
Community
people.
stuff,
So back into the community. So hopefully, instead of just having a generic music on, I hope we can get some local bands to send some tracks in, and we can put it over the top of the video.
Adam, I'm going to ask you first of all, who's your goal of the month?
Liam Scopes, I think.
Yeah, Alex.
I'm as much as Veron will probably have a go at me about this, I'm probably going to go with number 3, just because of the build up and then the finish.
Yeah. Fair play. I tell you what, we've still got James and we've got Buck still in the green room. I'm going to ask them as well. James, who's your one?
That Liam Scopes one is too far out not to be that, I think. On this one, personally, it's so far out, it's absolutely outrageous. If he doesn't win it, he's just picked a bad month or something. But yeah, number 1.
Yeah, Bucks, what are you saying?
I'll have to go with Scopes here as well. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. Wind assisted goal.
That's a ridiculous goal.
Dean. Oh, Dean. Surely not. This goal has travelled a long way. Keeper surely not do that. Harsh, Dean. Harsh. Yeah, I think I can't really go beyond Liam. Truth be told, I think it's just such an unbelievable hit. It takes something special to get the amount of power and the distance on that shot to be able to get anywhere near that top corner. For me, that's that. If it wasn't for Liam, I'd probably say George Bug with that hit, because that technique to be able to get that much power, the accuracy on that when the ball is dropping is an unbelievable technique. So
I think 1, 3, and 5 are all class goals.
I'd say the thing is it's quite difficult, because where to do the segment, I've had to kind of shorten it down a little bit. Dean, I really wouldn't have. Some of the videos, obviously, that are on their Twitter and account and stuff like that, please do go and have a look, because you might see a little bit more. The Liam Scopes one, if you actually look how quick he reacts to the free kick being given and then hitting it, that's what makes it a very, very good goal.
Yeah. Adam, are we voting on goal of the month? Is there any way in which we can get something set up for
Twitter vote
for December onwards?
We can set it up with this one. We can do a Twitter vote. We can sort it out.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to need to give us a couple of days to get it out there and just edit it in the right way. But basically, what we'll do is do it as 4 and 4, and it'll just be like a little cup competition. So top 2 of one batch of 4 go through, and then we'll split it in the middle.
Yes, Psychic for Sports agreeing with me there. So either Scopes or Bug for me. Irvin saying Liam Scopes as well. Tony's saying Scopes for me. As I said, we'll put this out on Twitter later on in the week, and we'll see what people want to, see how people want to vote for that. As I said, we'll put it into 2 parts. The first 4 goals, and then the next 4 over on 2 separate polls. Dan just said there's no need for a vote.
It's not just all about who wins. We've got to figure out first, second, third place.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
So there is more to it. It would be funny if he just got 100% of the vote and it was job done. It's going to be about how many people can get their parents, their nans. Set up as many Twitter accounts as you can to vote on it. Really,
all you need to do is just tag a couple of Arsenal fan TVs and in there, because the Arsenal fans love a good vote, don't they? So if we stick something.
The thing is, if you want to try and win something for us, try and get it in the group chats and stuff like that. So it should make it a bit more interesting.
Definitely. But that is where we're going to round things up for tonight's show. Really appreciate everyone who has come on. James, Bucks, Alex, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Adam, as always, it's been a really good show. And thank you everyone who's got involved in the comment section. And remember, if you are on a YouTube perspective, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you're over on Twitter, give this a retweet after we're done, just so you can try and promote it to everybody else. And on Facebook, share the video around. Again, reminder that as of tomorrow, this will be available on all podcasting platforms. So if you can't watch it back, it will be available to listen to on any good podcasting platform. Just search the Suffolk Non-League Show, and you will find the audio version there. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next week and until next time on the channel, adios.